Folks, let me tell you, if you do not have a solid relationship with God or a higher being, whoever you serve, then you will not, I repeat, you will not have success, sustaining success as an entrepreneur. You just won't. Why? Because people, intentional or unintentional, will let you down. They can't help it, intentional or non-intentional. It could be family, friends, colleagues, business partners, man, woman, by nature will let you down. That's just the way it is. But you need something solid, something true, something unmovable, something faithful, honest to lead on to get you through these hurt feelings when things don't go as planned, when people let you down. That's how you develop the mental toughness that we're going to deep dive into in just a few moments. The unshakable, the unmovable mental toughness that you can get more detailed in my ebook.
Today's episode of Reset to Reinvent podcast is brought to you by the Adams Group Agency, developing final expense leaders.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reset to Reinvent podcast, episode 19. I am your host, Helen Blocker Adams, and I'm so glad to be with you here today. Let me tell you, I am so thankful and so excited about all the positive feedback I received from last week's episode as we talked about entrepreneurship and some of the challenges that we go through as an entrepreneur. And I really appreciate that positive feedback. I had a blast sharing intimately about some of my struggles as an entrepreneur over the past 34 years. We talked about the definition of strive. We talked about the definition of struggle and how it directly relates and correlates to the life of an entrepreneur. And if you did not catch last week's episode 18. Oh, I encourage you to go back and listen. You will be blessed. Okay. I promise you will. And also while you're at it, go ahead and like, subscribe, download, and support our podcast, Reset to Reinvent. Scroll down to the footer of whatever platform that you're using and click on support. Click on the support link and it will take you to a page where you can support our podcast for as little as $3 a month. And we really appreciate that. Thank you so much in advance. So let's get into today's episode 19. Episode 19. I'm so excited about this. Struggling and striving as an entrepreneur. Tips on how mental toughness can help you have success, can help you survive as an entrepreneur, part 2. So, mental toughness is critical to surviving in the entrepreneurial world. There's so many gold nuggets that's in my ebook. Did you buy my ebook yet? Oh no, you got to buy my ebook. The ebook is called, and this is where you go to my website, reset2reinvent.com, reset2reinvent.com. Go to my website and then go to the, click on the link on the tab at the top of the website. It says a Reinvent store. Okay, when you go to Reinvent store, it'll take you straight to my store where you can buy my ebooks. Now I have other ebooks there as well, but in particular, as it relates to what we're talking about in this episode and in last episode, I want you to see that we are talking about mental toughness, and that's the book I would like for you to grab now. Mental Toughness. The name of the book is Mental Toughness. Unlock the secrets of mental resilience and transform yourself into an unstoppable force. Now, I mean, just that title alone ought to get you excited, folks. Come on now, go ahead and buy that ebook. I promise you, you can get it. You can go on the website and download it right now, and it will be on your computer, and you can be able to start reading it right away, right away, right away. So, do you remember last week when I mentioned that I heard a sermon by a local Augusta pastor? I watched it on YouTube, and I mentioned how his message mirrored somewhat the message and the conversation that we're having here about striving, thriving, striving, and struggling as an entrepreneur. And as it relates to mental toughness. You remember when I mentioned that? Okay. Yeah. So that's what I want to talk about for a few minutes. Okay. The title of his sermon, he's a local Augusta pastor. Okay. The title of his sermon was Locked in God's Waiting Room, Trusting When You Feel Forgotten. Yeah, I'm going to repeat that. Locked in God's waiting room, trusting when you feel forgotten. And the sermon scripture came from Psalm 13, 1 through 6. Okay. So now the title resonated with me as I think about my entrepreneurial journey. On those days when I was struggling, I felt forgotten. And many of you may have had similar experiences where you were struggling and you felt forgotten. Not necessarily forgotten by God, but just forgotten by people because and forgotten by life because frankly, sometimes the people closest to you may not really understand what you're going through, why you're going through it, why you're allowing it to go, why you are allowing it to go through, you to go through it so many different times over a course of your entrepreneurial lifetime. They may not understand. And oftentimes, more times than we would like, things do happen and there is a struggle. Okay. That's just a part of it. But remember, I mentioned last week, even if you have a job, even if you're working a full-time job, even if you're working the job of your dreams and you're making just incredible income and the family's good, you're still going to have some struggles. So when you're on the grind, when you're making things happen and you're networking and you're selling whatever product or service that you're selling, you know, all of the elements of a small business person, yeah, it is easy to dig yourself into a situation where you got a hole so deep that you feel like you cannot get out of it. That's kind of the way I felt in 2014 of May when I realized my life was a mess. I was like that worm that was crawling on the ground, just so disgusting, so, I was like that worm in 2014. And I know I've mentioned 2014, May, several times on this podcast. That's going to be a whole episode by itself. But things did blow up in my face in 2014. And I can tell you at that time, I did feel forgotten. I mean, I was lost, forgotten. Okay. But have you ever felt just so down in your entrepreneurial journey that you just felt forgotten? Have you ever felt like that? So let's look at the parallel between being locked in God's waiting room and the time in your business or professional life that you felt there was no way out. You're locked in a place mentally, physically, spiritually. Unless you want to remain locked in that space, guess what? You're going to have to develop some mental toughness. I mean, you just got to. Unshakable mental toughness. Entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. Think about these people. You've heard of all of these people. Walt Disney faced bankruptcy and rejection. Steve Jobs was forced out of Apple, and he was the one who founded Apple. Go figure. Ariana Huffington, her second book was rejected by 36 publishers. Milton Hershey faced bankruptcy with his first candy business before creating the Hershey Chocolate Company. Yes, I'm so glad that he hung in there because I love chocolate. Colonel Sanders faced over 1,000 rejections for his chicken recipe. And look where he is now. And one more, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah, suffered and overcame economic hardship and sexual abuse as a child. We all know her story. She's been very transparent over the years about different struggles that she had. But look at her now. All of these successful multimillionaires have gone through some stuff, but you know what? Their resilience and their mental toughness kept them alive and thriving and striving through the struggle. They strived and they struggled at the same time as an entrepreneur. They go hand in hand, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It is okay. And so going back to this message, this sermon, this pastor outlined 4 critical instructions while in God's waiting room. And these 4 are: fear not, trust God. Fear not, be patient. Forget not, study God's promises. Faint not, don't give up. Oh my goodness. Now you see why I was so like, wow, listen to this sermon. Now, all of these instructions relate to your life as an entrepreneur. Fear not, trust God. Yes, when you step out there in the deep, and let's just say you go all in your entrepreneurial journey, and you say, you know what, I'm going all in. I don't have a plan B. I'm going to do this. Yes, there's going to be some fearful moments, but oh boy, you have got to trust God. Fear not, be patient, because, oh boy, you're dealing with people. At some point in time, I don't care if you're selling a product, something that's tangible, or a service, you will be dealing with people, and you will need to develop some patience. Okay? You just have to. Fear not, be patient. One day at a time. Take one day at a time. Forget not, study God's promises. God has so many promises in the word, in the Bible, that, oh my goodness, he's one of his promises is that he will not forsake you. He's not going to forget about you. He's not going to just leave you out there hanging. He's not going to put more on you than you can bear. He's just not. Now, we may feel otherwise, but he's not. And then the last one, faint not, don't give up. Oh my goodness. Now you may have to reset. You may have to reinvent. You may have to change gears, switch gears. You may have to pull back. You may have to change careers completely, but don't give up. Faint not, don't give up. Oh my goodness. I just thought these instructions as they relates to our topic as we talk about entrepreneurship and striving and struggling as an entrepreneur and tips on how mental toughness will help you survive and have success. I mean, it just made sense. I had to share this. Okay. And let me share this final comment that he includes and apparently in his messages. And then when you look at it on YouTube, he has a sermon in a sentence, and I've got to read this. Okay. And he says, when the problem of feeling abandoned locks us in God's waiting room, honest prayer opens the door to a powerful perspective, trusting his unfailing love until joy floods our hearts and praise overflows from our lips. Hallelujah. Folks, let me tell you, if you do not have a solid relationship with God or a higher being, whoever you serve, then you will not, I repeat, you will not have success, sustaining success as an entrepreneur. You just won't. Why? Because people, intentional or unintentional, will let you down. They can't help it. Intentional or non-intentional. It could be family, friends, colleagues, business partners, man, woman, by nature will let you down. That's just the way it is. But you need something solid, something true, something unmovable, something faithful, honest to lead on to get you through these hurt feelings when things don't go as planned, when people let you down. That's how you develop the mental toughness that we're going to deep dive into in just a few moments. The unshakable, the unmovable mental toughness that you can get more detailed in my ebook. Folks, it all goes hand in hand. This is good stuff, but I want this to be an encouragement to you. I want this to be an encouragement to you because I know somebody is probably saying, oh my gosh, well, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to do this. Oh man, this is hard. Helen is just breaking it down. I don't like the sugarcoat stuff, y'all. That's just not me. I'm going to keep it real, but I've been at it for 34 years. Hello, there's got to be a reason. Got to love what you do. You got to love to serve people. You definitely got to have your relationship with your Lord and Savior because that's what's going to help you keep moving, keep going. When you realize he's got your back. So I want this to be an encouragement to you, okay? I've been an entrepreneur for 34 years, since May of 1991, 34 years. That's a long time. And I started in May, my birthday month. And guess what? I wouldn't have it any other way, okay? Now, I can say through all of this, through all of the ups and downs and the trying to find my way, not having a mentor, not having a coach, not having somebody that I can be able to lean on as I was starting my business and going from this to this and trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that and making this happen. You know, I constantly was focused on how can I serve the people? And I just figured out ways and made it work. But I didn't realize how much mental toughness I had. So before I wrote this ebook called Mental Toughness, I had no idea how much mental toughness I had. No idea. I didn't even know what it was. I just did it. Okay. So chapter 4, developing unshakable mental toughness, is what I want to talk about now for a few minutes. Now, this is in my book. So if you go and grab the ebook, go ahead and download it. You're going to see some points in this book that's just going to blow your mind. Okay. Developing, and this is in chapter 4, developing unshakable mental toughness Mental toughness stands as the cornerstone of entrepreneurial success. It's the intangible quality that propels you forward when obstacles seem insurmountable, when doubts creep in, and when the path ahead appears shrouded in uncertainty. So this chapter, which I'm just going to give you some points, so that you can give you enough to say, you know what, I need to get this ebook. I need to grab this book so that I can develop this mental toughness. And if you've been an entrepreneur for, let's just say 5 years, 2 years, 60 days, 6 months, 6 years, 20 years, you're going to find that this book can be able to help you continue to move forward and have the success that you're looking for. So this chapter is going to guide you through the process of cultivating a level of mental fortitude that goes beyond ordinary resilience, equipping you with the tools to strive, to thrive in the high pressure world of business. So the essence of mental toughness and entrepreneur. And I'm reading this verbatim. It's coming directly from my ebook, okay? It's coming directly from my ebook. Mental toughness is more than just perseverance or grit. It's a complex psychological construct that encompasses your ability to perform consistently under pressure, maintain focus in the face of distractions, and bounce back stronger from setbacks. All of those individuals I just mentioned, Steve Jobs, Oprah, Colonel Sanders, we can just go down the list. We can look at famous athletes. We can look at movie stars, actors, people who have been, publicly shamed, and they may have disappeared for a minute to regroup, and then they come back. I mean, there's a level of mental toughness that they have that's allowed them to be able to bounce back. Because as an entrepreneur, there's going to be things. Now, they may not necessarily be public. They may not be on the front page news, but you feel it. The feeling is still going to be the same. The feeling of hurt, the feeling of rejection, and all of those things can knock you out so that you don't ever come back. At least in the field of entrepreneurship, you just go into your little hole, your little corner of the world. Okay. But God says, no. You know what? Come back. I need you. I created you for a reason. I designed you for something bigger than that little bit of hurt that you got for being rejected or whatever. Okay? I'm telling you, there's been so many conversations that me and the Lord have had over the years. 34 years, y'all. That's a long time. Okay? Wow. So check out this. So listen to this. For entrepreneurs, mental toughness is the difference between those who fold under pressure and those who rise to the challenge. Woo-wee. So there was a 2023 study that was published in the Journal of Business Venturing, found that entrepreneurs with high levels of mental toughness were 47% more likely to successfully navigate business crises, and 39% more likely to report consistent year-over-year growth compared to their less mentally tough counterparts. Okay. And so these statistics just show you that mental toughness is critical. Mental toughness plays a critical role in your entrepreneurial journey. So I'm going to share with you 4 C's I'm not going to go into a long detail about each one of them because I want you to go to the ebook and get all of the information, get all of the detail, and then be able to do some reassessment of yourself, where you're going, get into your head and your mindset to make you realize, you know what, yeah, you're on the right path, or maybe you need to make a little bit of a change or pull back a little bit, or whatever it takes. Or you may just read these and then get a chance to really get a thorough understanding of how each one of them applies to you. Okay. So what I can see this, this is my podcast. And so with this podcast, I want to just give you, let's see, as they say, sell the steak and sell the sizzle and not the steak. And the steak is going to be when you go and order the ebook. And then maybe at some point in time, maybe somebody can give me some feedback. Would you like to see some webinars? Would you sign up for some webinars on some of these topics that we're talking about, like this one in particular, mental toughness? I'm curious. This is episode 19. I'm getting more and more comfortable about what our show is all about and what we want to do and what we want to impact. And reset to reinvent is so close and near and dear to me. So the idea of webinars, having webinars that are opposite of the podcast so that we can really deep dive, let me know, shoot me an email, hba1959@gmail.com. Or leave a message in the on the podcast platform, or however way you want to send it to me. Okay, go on my Facebook page, and speaking of that, go to my Facebook page and like my Reset to Reinvent podcast page if you haven't already, and that way you can follow. And I'm going to start spending a little bit more time putting more content in there for those of you who have liked my page or subscribed to it, and I'm not really doing that much with it, but I'm getting better. I'm trying to get better. But there's just so much that I want to do to help you survive and thrive. I really do. So okay, all right, Helen, focus. Let's get back to the 4 C's as we wrap up today's episode of Reset to Reinvent. And these 4 C's, the 4 key components as it relates to developing mental toughness. The first one is control. Control in entrepreneurship means maintaining composure in high stress situations and believing in your ability to shape the outcome. If you don't believe in what you're doing, I don't care whatever it is. I'm in the insurance business. And if you're out there and you're selling an insurance policy, or you're talking with someone about insurance and you don't believe in insurance, you don't have a policy on yourself, you don't have policies on loved ones, you don't feel like insurance is that important, it's going to be hard for you to have control of that situation, because that client is going to send you some objections on why they don't want the insurance. Is going to make you fall flat on your face. So control is one of the 4 C's. Another one is commitment. Now we're talking about developing mental toughness, and I'm just giving you some little snippets. There's a lot more details, a lot of good stuff in here that you can be able to dive in and get a notebook and just really do some things to get your business stronger. Commitment is the second C. Commitment for entrepreneurs means setting clear goals and persevering through the obstacles. If you don't have any goals, if you're just kind of waking up willy-nilly every morning and you just kind of going here and there and hither and there, you know what? You're not going to have success. You're not going to have success. Yeah, maybe that's just a hobby. And that's okay. A lot of people, entrepreneurial journeys start off as hobbies, okay? But we're talking about the 4 keys, 4 C's of mental toughness, okay? And then there's a chart in my book which you can go in and just good stuff. You got to get the ebook. The third C is challenge. Seeing challenges as opportunities is crucial for entrepreneurial success. I mean, think about it. When I had that major blow up in May of 2014, and earlier, I had been introduced to the world of insurance by a gentleman named Dr. Lewis Burns out of Columbia, South Carolina. I had no idea that I'd be getting in the insurance industry. I was running for mayor at the time. It didn't even occur to me, but it was something that I knew I could do because I've always been serving people. So the challenge of, losing and getting out of the mayor's race and all of the things that happened as a result, that was a major public challenge, but it also turned into an opportunity for me. So challenge is that's the third C. That's the third C. Now, the fourth C is confidence. Confidence is the bedrock of mental toughness. To boost, and I'm going to give you this little tidbit. This is in the book, and we talk a lot about self-talk. To boost your entrepreneurial confidence, use positive self-talk. Implement the confidence log technique and seek and provide mentorship. Now, you've got to get the book to get more information on this confidence log, the self-talk, and what all of that means. And many of us as entrepreneurs, the self-talk is just basically, getting in that mirror and say, what, I can't do this. But guess what? You still got to have that solid rock. You gotta have that relationship and that solid connection with God that who has your back when everything else can go awry. Okay, I'm telling you, but it's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to be so worth it. And so as we talk about mental toughness, and having success as an entrepreneur in the entrepreneurial world, I want you to have success. Oh my gosh, I pray for your success. And I want you to take a few minutes, go to my website, reset2reinvent.com. Click on Reinvent Store. Just click on it, and it'll take you straight to where you need to go to order this ebook, Mental Toughness. Do it today. Now, this episode hits on the last Monday of the month of July, 2025. The month is gone. We're finishing up the first month of the third quarter. Christmas is going to be here before we know it. The month of August is right there on top of us. It's right here. And so, when you think about your life, your entrepreneurial journey, we're in the second half of 2025. Where are you since from the first 6 months to where you are now? Are you where you want to be? Are you allowing distractions to get in the way of the success that you deserve? Are you allowing people to kind of get into your head and make you think about things that are not in alignment of where you feel like you need to be? All of these things are questions you have to ask yourself, because we only got one life. One life, and we only have one moment at a time. That's all we have is one moment. People are dying every day. Young, old, middle age, and what is old anymore? Okay. I mean, there are people living to 100 and 105, 107, 102 years old, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Okay. But developing that mental toughness, it is crucial as an entrepreneur, and I want you to have mental toughness. So as we wrap up today's episode 19, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for joining today's episode of Reset to Reinvent podcast. I want you to subscribe. I want you to download. I want you to support. I would like for you to share this with a friend or two or three or four. Continue to join me on these episodes as we explore more ways to help each other. And I won't have all the answers, but I tell you what, I will search and find them. If anybody sends me something that that I'm not really that sure about, I'll get the answer for you. Okay. I will definitely get the answer for you because, this podcast is all about you. It's all about you because you were born to be inspired. Peace.
Reset to Reinvent podcast. We are living in uncertain times. Job security is becoming more elusive. People are losing their jobs. Companies are closing. But wait, have you ever considered a career as an insurance agent? Just a thought. Our much talked about ebook, 8 Reasons to Become a Life Insurance Agent, can help you decide if it's for you or not. Order your copy today. Visit our website, Reset to Reinvent, and click on the Reinvent store. Who knows? It may be the best decision you've made in a long time.